really up in this area that like that this morning. So even though we've traded up there, we haven't really seen any further developments as far as the market being really keen to trade up here. So on that basis, if the market doesn't want to trade here, I'll certainly be looking for these moves. I'm not going to notice this area at 77. I don't want to get short into that. Happy to be short above it and then sort of call it quits if we should be so lucky to get a short that goes our way and moves down to that sort of 81 area, right, just here, 81. Now, as I was saying, we've got quite a bit of data, so big players won't be around for a while. So this is going to be your machine-based trading, a lot of algorithmic stuff, pretty neutral where we're currently trading, but we know the value's down in this area, hence the reason for the short rationale, and lots of longs. There's a good chunk of sellers here. There's a good portion of these, of course, that would have been knocked out. I think that above this area, probably some that didn't execute, there's probably still some left, but that's good to know. And then if we look at that from a shorter period of time, see the anomaly in volume, like you got big chunk here, nothing here, not much here, bigger sells. So some of the aggression seems to be on the sell side. So you've got plenty of buying activity, but the aggression is on the sell side when they come in. All right, liquidity just got sucked out of the market there. So what I was saying before is there'll be more shorts above here. Now that sucker liquidity just pushed prices up. So there might be a play on to take prices up to there. And so it looks super heavy on the long side where we are. So it's a big call to do that. But we just saw how one mechanism is to just suck all the liquidity out. Look at it, no business, and get price, reprice it up here. Try and use this selling to start covering here, and it's just getting the market to reprice. And then what we're seeing follow is a lot of selling. So it looks to me like the play is to drive it up. It was so quick that a lot of these sellers would have been caught in the headlights. Some of them will be adding. You will come in thinking, oh, it's the 70, 100, or roughly around 70-cent highs. Let's see if we can get price up here. Sorry, they'll be selling, but the game is to obviously get into the next group of shorts. Remember, all of this game playing can take place while the bigger institutional players aren't around, because they're going to stay on the sidelines until we get through all the data. Long from 03. Let's see how we've filled the gap, had a couple of failures at 02. Just what I was saying before, there was a game on there. This is what the markets are about. Creating moves, making moves happen. It all started with that sucker liquidity. That's why it's so important to understand who's playing and when. This is just going to evaporate because it was driven up there on nothing. Remember, no real commitment from anyone. This is what I was illustrating this morning. You want to know the complex behavior within the slightly larger complex behavior. You want to avoid both, because the trap otherwise is too often to go, oh, we're out of here, I'll hit a short. But really, this is just a smaller component within this one, because this larger box is this one. See what I mean? So you can think, okay, we're out of this. You go and hit a short and bang, you're offside, just like that. So you don't want to be trading until, look at that, how much that hurt. All of those just exactly doing that. First mouse, second mouse. And remember, this is the move that we're after. And look at all the longs that got sucked in there. And don't go selling until we're actually out of it, because otherwise you're just going to make the same mistake those did here. Start to get a sense that, okay, I was seeing the market just respond pretty aggressively. Now, is that same sort of comeback there, or is it starting to shift that when buyers come back, and a lot of it's not actual buyers in the sense that we would think of them, a lot of it's some of the automation stuff. So looking to see whether that still has the same sort of kapow, right? So you look at it, bang, bang, that one that we just witnessed, this one not so much. So it's only really had one that hasn't really had anything behind it. And if we get another one and start to move through, well, then you can see the shift. In here, trading blows and it's pretty equal. The impact is evenly distributed, as shown in the market, with just a slight lean to the shorts, but slight lean here to the long, so it cancels each other out. Right, so this is different. We know that there's a lot of selling in here. In fact, it was all selling before, but the buying has come in. And when we look at this view, lots of longs here. It's a real even distribution, but look at all the longs down here. Because these shorts gone, they would have been gone in that. So here's a combination, and hence why we're getting no real strong move either way. And then big picture, look, failure, failure. Whoa. So sellers coming in and offering the market at lower and lower prices, and here. So you start to join all the dots together. And what was the hypothesis for Europe? Well, the hypothesis was this. Now, in the meantime, we've had some longs and been able to play both sides. There's been a few things, what I refer to as catching the waves within the bigger tide. And I'm seeing things start to develop. I can start to plan about where I want to add and where I want to take some off if we get there. And that, so here's where I can start to build a bigger trade. Some of this other stuff, no, you're in and out like a rabbit. And as I said, it's great for developing your skill for execution, and you make a couple of bucks, but it's not where the real money is. I think that's the key, is that you have these hypotheses, and that's where the strength is in this room. But where you can get caught is you lose sight of it because of all the other stuff going on. All right, so starting to build some shorts now. All right, so just start probing a bit. All right, acceptance down here already. So change of behavior. Again, another thing that I'm noticing. Look at this, straight on a low, big size. Normally it's these tiny little things. See that? And already making a low. So you should want to be in short. Haven't really got much of a cushion yet. Want to see 94 really start to show acceptance. Notice that buyers have come in trying to lift here. Right, here they are. They're trying to lift. All I'm seeing is though, as those buyers lift 95, look at the supply coming at 95 on the tape. All right, so there's another 30, 40 lot that got lifted. And look at that supply straight back. It's the same number though, 27. So it's probably not completely that they're going to pull that. They're going to mess around. So there's 32, right, doesn't matter. We're straight to 94. You got acceptance at 94. Have a think about where you can add, how far you need to be ahead. Isn't it a great game? Like just when you can just plan it out beforehand, right? Here comes the hard selling again. Even though we've had all that selling, there's more coming. What does that tell you? It tells you longs are under pressure. After a heap of selling, look, more. Right, you got a big fat cushion now, you should have. Now we're very expanded on the 100 tick. Talked about this in prep this morning, and the need to take money. So even if you didn't get to add, take money, because you know what? We can always go back in. Right, lots of buying coming in. How is this buying impacting the price? Right, lots of buying there at 93. Is supply going to come back? Yep. See, expansion on the 100 tick. First thing I spoke about in prep this morning. Got to really rake it in when we get to that point. We had one move down, and then we've gone complex. So what does that say about the strength or lack of strength to the downside, that we could only muster up one leg? Now, I'm not prepared to say we've changed direction, like we haven't really, we might get another leg. But if we don't and we start kicking up, then the thinking in the back of your mind is, wow, that's all we could manage was one move to the downside. Okay, well, I need to reevaluate where the strength is. It must be seriously on the long side. We should get some serious gangbuster moves, and you know how to attack the market from then on. Interesting. Look at some of the aggression being shown here by buying. Now that money is either going to impact and going to lift prices, or it's lining itself up and it's going to get dusted. But as we've seen, sometimes they actually do this on purpose, and it costs them a bit of money because they've got a bigger play that they're working on. This shows the market, look, we're buying in size, and people want to emulate it. And this is chicken feed compared to the overall size of their position. So this is just, it's like lost leaders in advertising. It's exactly what it is. No acceptance at 92. Lack of liquidity. Look at all the business done here, lack of liquidity. So they're at play again. So what's the play? Can you work it out? What have they done? What did they just set up there? What's the move? Can you see it? What's the strategy? First, they've telegraphed what? Lots of what? To get everyone what? I'll tell you what it is. They've made it look like it's a long. Then they've rolled over, and because they sucked out liquidity. Why do that? Because they'll get deer in the headlights. Then as it moves up, all those that copied to get long start to find evidence to support the long. Oh, well, look at this. It got down to here and it didn't go any further because look at this area here. There's no acceptance. But we're in a different session now. Most of that's from the Asian session. Don't care. So they've got longs in here who've already suffered heat once. Now, as we start to roll over, then they'll be forced to act because the second time around, they're not going to sit in discomfort. If anything, some of them might have added because they've been long from up here. It's brought more in because this is like confidence that, and so the play is a short. And this is just brilliant how they use this acceptance. Got to be able to think like that. Got to be able to see it. And when I get these right, these are the ones that I hit with size because I know they invest a lot into this. This is not some little 3-tick move they're going for. Look at all the new long blood. Look at the new longs. And so this is before the outcome's known, by the way. If look over here in this area, which goes back to 2.5 hours ago. Look at this area here. How many protective stops do you think are working under that area based on that huge move? On the bid, first time we've seen it, at 88 now. Put it down here at 73. We've got our acceptance area here at 80. Here we go. And we got acceptance this time at 87, 86 is on the bid. Got some short from 88. Going to look to add at 87, which I have because I saw acceptance at 87. Looking for the bid to come back at 86. 86 back on the bid. Got just an 8 lot lifted, 87 back with supply. Looking for 86 to shave down on the bid. Haven't seen a commitment yet from sellers at 80. Here we go. Here's sellers at 87 and shaved right down on 86. Trying to work. Here we go. Starting to move through. Trying to get another ad at 86. Quite some size of 6. Straight through. Straight through. Let's see if I can get it. Here we go. Trying to load up. Trying to load up. Right, down to our transition area. Straight through, straight through. Where's the big order in the book? We're just there now. Time to get flat, time to get flat. Monster short, all prepped for. There may well be some more to go, but it's come to that time of the night where I'm going to call it a week. And what a great way to finish, straight out of a hypothesis. We saw the game, we saw it all come together, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed playing. All right, have a great weekend. We'll be back into it next week.